of ADAU channel. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Fatima Shirinzade, Assistant Teacher of Marketing Department. I teach marketing, marketing researches, and strategy of agrarian marketing. But today, I'm here to teach you the marketing subject. Our lecture is about marketing environment and communications. Okay, firstly, let me introduce references which I used in my lecture. In fact, there are a lot of books and articles in marketing, but you know marketing is established in America, and the father of marketing is Philip Kotler, so I always refer to Philip Kotler's book. Okay, let's start two references. Firstly, I used Kotler, Philip and Armstrong, Principles of Marketing. The next one is, again, Philip Kotler, Marketing and Management. The next one is the marketing book, Michael Becker. The other references is internet resources, and it's not important for you. Just now the books, okay? This is our references. Okay, I would like to talk about the lecture outline. Firstly, I will explain you what is marketing environment and the importance of marketing environment. Then I will explain internal environment, external environment, micro environment of marketing, macro environment. Then we will talk about communications, types of communication, and finally communication theory. Okay, as a rule, I'm always beginning the importance of lecture, why you should learn the marketing environment and communication, why the marketing environment is so important in marketing. I always compare marketing environment with our own life. Imagine that in your own life you want to do something, you want to make some decisions, yes, but there are some factors which affect your psychology, which affect your decision-making process, and that's why they can affect your mind. You can change your mind, or how can I say, they can give you advice about something. Imagine that you want to buy something. It doesn't matter. It can be a computer, phone, or television. You want to buy something. And there are some factors such as your family or your, how can I say, relatives and your friends. Yes, they affect your mind. Give you some advice. Buy this product or don't buy this product. This is the environmental factors which affect your psychology, which affect your mind. And the same situation occurs with marketing environment too. As an owner of company, as a marketer, you want to do something. For example, you want to take forward your business or to target your audience and that kind of stuff, yes? But there are some factors which affect your decision-making process, of course, as a marketer. For example, there are a lot of factors which affect your business. It can be some external factors and internal factors. Okay, let me explain what is marketing environment and why the marketing environment is so important. Because as I mentioned before, to understand your marketing environment, you gather information about your environmental factors. Philip Kotler says that a company's marketing environment consists of the actors and forces outside of marketing that affect marketing management ability to build and maintain successful relationship with target customers. Components of marketing environment, let me explain about it. The marketing environment is made up of the internal and external environment of business. Some of them we can control, but some of them we cannot control, or we can less control. Okay, let me explain deeply about it. Firstly, as I mentioned before, there are two types of marketing environment. First one is external environment, and second one is internal environment. There are two types of external environment. One of them micro environment, and second one is macro environment. Okay, let's dive into deep about internal environment. Internal environment occurs outside of the firm. That's why we can control our internal environment. Because if something occurs inside of the firm, we can control the elements, the factors. Okay, there are some factors, some elements in marketing environment, in internal environment, of course. We call it 5M. Okay, let me explain the each M in internal environment. Firstly, man, and secondly, minute, and the next one, machinery, materials, and money. Let's dive into deep about it. Firstly, men. The men, the people of the organization, including both skilled and unskilled workers. Of course, we can control our people. We can control our workers because as an owner of company, we can change or we can motivate them to work better and so on. Okay, that's why we can control our men. And the next element is minute. Minute, I mean that it's time. Time is very important in marketing. Time is very important in company or for every area, because without minute, without time, you cannot produce something. You cannot complete your work. You cannot complete your producing process. That's why the time management and managing your time is very important. Sometimes we can control our time, but sometimes we cannot control. The next element is machinery. Machinery is equipment which important in producing process, which used in producing process. Machinery is an important point of 5M, because without machinery, we cannot produce something. You cannot, for example, buy material and to do something, because you haven't got machinery. And that's why, of course, you can control your machinery. You can choose your suppliers, and you can change your suppliers. That's why machinery is controllable element of internal environment. The next one is material. Material is the factors of production or suppliers required by the business to complete the processes or production. Materials, I mean that which materials we must use in our producing process. Without material, of course, you cannot produce something. Imagine that you have people, I mean you have workers, or minute, you have time, you have machinery, but you haven't got materials. Of course, it's impossible to produce something. Of course, in fact, we can control our materials, because we can choose, as I mentioned before, our suppliers, our type of materials, and so on. The next element is money. Money is a financial resources used to complete or used to purchasing process. We can control sometimes money, but we cannot sometimes less control, or we cannot control, or we can less control. Money is the most important element of internal environment, because without money you cannot buy materials, you can't buy machinery, or you cannot pay the employees, or you cannot pay your workers, and so on. That's why the money is a most important point of internal environment. As I mentioned before, we can control internal environment, but sometimes we can less control. Okay, let's continue with next type of marketing environment. As I mentioned before, this is an external environment. There are two types of external environment. One of them micro environment. Second one is macro environment. In this sheet, you can see the company in the center of the sheet, because, as I mentioned before, the processes occurs outside the firm, not inside the company or firm, outside the firm. Okay, that's why the company is the center of this sheet. Okay, sometimes we can control our external environment, but sometimes we can not control, or we can less control. Okay, let's dive into deep about it. Firstly, let me explain about microenvironment. Yes, there are some types of microenvironment. One of them, the company. Second one, suppliers. Next one, marketing intermediaries, customers, competitors, and publics. Okay, let's dive into deep about it. Firstly, suppliers. Suppliers include all the parties which provide resources needed by organization. Of course, we can control our suppliers. We can choose our suppliers, or we can change our suppliers, etc. The next element is marketing intermediaries. Marketing intermediaries include parties involved in distributing the product or service in the organization. Of course, marketing intermediaries can be wholesalers or resellers, retailers, and etc. Of course, we can control them. We can choose them by ourselves. The next one is partners. Partners, you know, all the separate entities like advertising agencies or market research organization, banking, insurance companies, which we have some collaboration between, for example, company and partners. Sometimes we can control them, but sometimes it's impossible to control. For example, we cannot control insurance companies. Sometimes we cannot control our banking system, and so on. And as a result, we cannot sometimes control our partners. The next element is customers. You know about customers in our previous lecture, because almost in every lecture I mentioned about customers. Customers comprise of the target group of the organization, which the company wants to achieve. this is our customers. Of course, we cannot control them. Yes, maybe we can gather information about their needs, about their wants, but we cannot absolutely control them. The next element is competitors. Competitors are all the players in the same market who target similar customers as that of the organization. For their similar target customers, we can compare them. The next one, of course, we cannot control them because we haven't got any information about their strategies, about their mind, or about their producing processes, and so on. The next one is public. Public is made up of any another group that has an actual or potential interest or affects the company's ability to serve its customers. Of course, it's clear that we cannot control our public too. There was an external environment of marketing and micro environment. The next one, as I mentioned before, is macro environment factor. Macro environment factors we cannot control absolutely because it doesn't depend on us. There are 6 elements in macro environment. One of them, demographic forces, and second one, economic forces. Next one, natural forces, technological forces, political forces, and finally, cultural forces. Let me explain about each element deeply. Firstly, as I mentioned before, this is the demographic environment. Of course, we cannot control our demographic environment. As a demographic environment can be size of population, or density, or their location, their age, gender, race, and their occupation. Of course, it's impossible to control demographic environment. The next one is economic environment. Of course, economic environment doesn't depend on us. It depends on a country. It depends on a republic, or how can I say, government, such as, for example, GDP, GNP, or interest rates, some inflation, or income distribution. Of course, it's clear that we cannot control these elements. We cannot control our economic environment. The next type of macro environment is physical environment. The other name of physical environment is natural environment. As a natural environment or as a physical environment can be some climate conditions or environmental change and so on. Of course, something about the pollution or about climate, we cannot control them because it doesn't depend on us. It depends on the nature. And the next one is technological environment. The technological environment consists of some innovation or research or development in technological alternative and so on. It's clear that we cannot control technological environment because we don't have any information about competitors, about their strategy, or about their technological environment, and so on. That's why we cannot control our technological environment. The next element is political legal environment. Political legal environment includes some laws and government policies, and etc. Of course, it's clear that again we cannot control our political legal environment because it depends on a strategy of government. The next is social cultural environment. Social cultural environment consists of some lifestyle of people or some values or culture, subculture or cross culture, some beliefs, and etc. Of course, it doesn't depend on us. We cannot control them. As a company cannot control the beliefs of people or their lifestyle or their income and so on. There are some factors we cannot control. We call it a macroeconomic environment in marketing. Okay. Why is the macroeconomic or microeconomic environment very important, or the whole marketing environment very important for the company? There are some reasons. Firstly, it helps companies understanding customers. It gives us some opportunity to understand customers because we have information. We gathered information about our customers, about our clients, and so on. The nextly, it helps us understanding the competitors because, as I mentioned before, we have a lot of information, not only about our customers, also about our competitors too. That's why it helps us understand their strategy or their producing process, their advertising, and so on. The next one is essential for planning process. Of course, if you want to plan something, if you want to do something, you have some information in advance. you can make some decisions, you can solve problems in advance. The next one is tapping trend, and the next one is threats and opportunities. I guess it's clear, and I don't want to say same things again and again. So it helps companies for some reasons. Okay, I want to explain how we can analyze environment of company. I explained almost everything about environment of marketing, but I didn't say how we can analyze our environment, how we can gather information about it. Of course, in fact, there are a lot of types of analysis in marketing environment too, but I will today explain only two types of analysis. One of the Swot analysis, and second one is Pastel analysis. Let's dive into deep about Swot analysis. S means that strengths, W means that weaknesses, O means that opportunities, and T means that some threats of company. Okay, let's explain firstly from strengths. Strength is the strength sides of company. Things your company does well. Strength side of company. Of course, it's important to know about it because after several days or after several years or months, it doesn't matter. It can be some opportunities for company. The next one is weaknesses. Weaknesses is a weakness side of company, and things your company lacks. Or for example, things your company do better than you. It's a weakness side of company. And the next letter is opportunities. Opportunities unserved markets for specific product. It gave us some chance to know about our opportunities, and maybe in the future you can realize your opportunity or increase your selling or increase your target audience and so on. This is the opportunities. The next one is threat. Threat is a changing regulatory environment or negative press, media coverage, and so on. This is threat. With helping SWOT analysis, as I mentioned before, we can gather information about environmental factors and also internal and external factors of marketing environment. This is a SWOT analysis. The next type of analysis is Pastel analysis. In fact, some scientists call the Pastel analysis Pastel, but some of them consider that this is a pastel. Pastel. It doesn't matter pastel or pastel because the meaning is same. They just change the place of letters, but the meaning of the type of analysis is the same. Okay, let me dive into deep about pastel analysis. P means that political, E means that economic, S means that social factors, and the T means that technological factors, and E means that environmental factors, and L means that some legal factors which affect external factors, the external side of company. Okay, let's start from P. P, it means that, as I mentioned before, political factors which affect your company, which affect company or firms, or it doesn't matter, enterprises. And P, for example, as a P or as a political factors can be some government policy or some political stability, corruption or foreign trade policy, tax policy, and so on. The next is economic. As the economic factors can be some economic growth or exchange rates, some interest rates, inflation rates, and so on. This is the economic factors. The next one is social factors. Social factors can be some population growth rate or the age distribution, or how can I say, lifestyle, some cultural barriers, and so on. As a technological factors can be some technological investitions or level of innovation or technological change, and so on. It's the technological factors. The next one is environmental. We can, of course, again gather information about our environment, and the pastel analysis helps us about it. As the environmental factors can be some weather, or the other name environmental factor is natural factors, and that's why it can be weather, climate, or environmental policies, or climate change, and so on. The next is legal. As a legal factors can be some laws or employment laws, or it can be the customer protection or healthy and safety laws, and so on. This is a Pastel analysis, or other name is Pastel. It can be help us to gather information about our environment of company, or how can I say, the information which we must know in advance, and so on. With helping Pastel analysis, we can gather information only about the external environment of marketing, not internal, only external. Pay attention. Okay, this is a Pastel analysis. And nextly, I want to explain you about marketing communication, because they are related each other, communication and environment. Why the marketing communication is very important in marketing? Because you know about the marketing mix, you know about the product, you know about place, price, and promotion. Yes, but one of the elements of marketing mix is promotion, because you know without 4P you cannot take forward your business, of course, as a company. You cannot achieve your aims or create your marketing strategy efficiently. That's why the marketing mix is very important, and one of the marketing mix element is promotion. That's why the promotion and communication is very important in marketing. But some students consider that marketing communication is equal advertising. Some students, as I mentioned before, consider that marketing communication is equal advertising. Of course, this is not true, because because advertising is a type of marketing communication, not whole marketing communication, because the marketing communication is bigger than advertising. Of course, in fact, there are a lot of types of marketing communication, one of them advertising, but advertising is not whole marketing communication process. That's why the marketing communication is bigger and much more than advertising. Okay, let's continue. Okay, communication, as I mentioned before, more just than advertising. They compromise any contact between the marketer and customer, or any that conveys a message to any of the 5 senses. This is a marketing communication. Which marketing communication is effective, which is not effective? How we can measure it? Of course, with understanding the targeted audience. If you can understand your target audience, or you can achieve your target audience, we can consider that, yes, this is marketing communication is effective, or it can increase the profit or revenue or incomes of, how can I say, firm or enterprises. We consider that, we can say that the marketing communication is effective. There are 5 types of marketing communication. One of them advertising, second one PR and publicity, next one is personal selling and the direct marketing, and the next one is promotion. Okay, let me explain each element, each type deeply. Firstly, PR. PR, it means that public relation, but in a short PR. But unfortunately, some students again consider that PR is equal advertising. This is not true. Yes, in fact, they are similar, but advertising is not PR, or PR is not advertising. Because when the companies or firms use PR, because of their reputation, if they want to increase their reputation or their image, they use PR. But advertising is for advertise something. Or it doesn't matter in television or in radio, in internet, it doesn't matter. The main aim is advertising is advertise something and increase profit of company, or increase profit of firms. This is a PR. As a function of public relationship, firstly, maintain a positive image. Secondly, educate the public about the company's objectives. The next one, introduce about new products. Support the sales effort, generates favorable publicity. This is a function of public relation. The next type is direct marketing. The direct marketing with helping direct marketing, we can send some information to receiver or to customer. This is just the information. With direct marketing, as I mentioned before, we just send information. There are some type of direct marketing. One of them direct mail or direct selling, telemarketing, email marketing, broadcast faxing, couponing, and direct advertising. And it doesn't matter which type of direct marketing you use. Of course, your main aim is to send information, but sometimes telemarketing, one of the type of direct marketing, doesn't work. For example, if you informate with telephone your customer, tell something, informate about something or your service or your product, sometimes they consider that it disturbs them. They consider that I'm busy and you tell and say something, you take my time. That's why the type of telemarketing, the direct marketing is telemarketing, sometimes doesn't work. The other type is personal selling. With helping personal selling, we can achieve our aims. Because face-to-face is easy to pursue person to, how can I say, buy this product or give information about it. That's why the personal selling is most important type of communication which we can use in our company. This is personal selling. The next type is advertising. Advertising, as I mentioned before, is a type of communication. With helping advertising, we can advertise something, our product or our service, it doesn't matter. There are some types of advertising. One of them internet, second one television, radio, newspaper, and magazine. Let's dive into deep about the types of advertising. One of them internet. Internet is the most popular type of advertising because, unfortunately, almost everyone uses internet and almost everyone spends a lot of time in front of the computer or the phone. Of course, we know this is a time-wasting, time-consuming, but we do it. And that's why the internet marketing is very important and very famous type of advertising because we spend a lot of time in internet. But the most cheaper type of advertising also, again, internet, because if you want to advertise something in internet, at least you pay $5, $6 or $10, yes? But in other types of advertising, this is more expensive than internet. The next type is television. The television approximately 15 or 20 years ago was a very famous type of advertising. But now the watchers of television decreasing day by day. That's why the television is not actual nowadays. The next type is radio. Radio is not actual too because most of people don't listen to the radio. And the next type is newspapers, and the same situation occurs with newspapers too because the readers of newspapers is decreasing step by step, day by day, and that's why it's not actual too. The next one is magazines. The magazines sometimes actual because there are some people which buy this magazine and they are interested about it. But if you want to advertise something in magazine, you must choose appropriate type of advertising. For example, you cannot advertise something. For example, you cannot advertise about sport in a fashion journal, in a fashion magazine. Yes, you must choose the advertising. They must choose the appropriate advertising in magazines. This is the advertising. It was the types of communication, and then I want to explain you marketing communication line. How is the marketing, where the marketing communication starts, where it finishes. Firstly, everything starts from product. If you don't have product, it doesn't matter good or services, you cannot make communication between marketer and customer because you haven't got anything. That's why the product is very important. The next stage is information. After producing process, you want to deliver some information to your target audience. That's why the second step is information. And after information, you want to achieve your target audience. Yes, the main aim is communication. As I mentioned before, is a target to achieve target audience. That's why the next step is marketing communication is target audience. I want to line up again the communication line. Firstly, product, information, and target audience. If professional marketers want to create effective marketing communication, they should do some elements right. Firstly, to reach. Secondly, to right customers. And then at the right place, at the right time, and with the right message. Let me explain deeply about it. For example, you are a marketer and you want to create your marketing communication efficiently. You should choose your customer right, your consumer right, because this is a very important point. If you cannot determine your consumer, you cannot achieve your aim. And secondly, at the right place. Place is a very important point of marketing communication. Maybe your customer or your client are interested about your product, but you show their product or your product at the wrong place. Of course, they will not buy your product. The next is at the right time. Of course, you know the time is very important point of marketing communication. If you cannot manage or if you cannot control your time, for example, you call them at the work or at a busy time, of course, you cannot achieve again your aim. The next one is with the right message, and the type of message is very important because you deliver, you send your message with your mind with your message. Okay, that's why the message is very important point of marketing communications. Besides the types of marketing, product, their price, and food packaging are also communication tools. Because the product, for example, milk, it shows us, it informs us about something. It informs us type of product. This is a communication tool. The next one is their price. And in fact, the price of product or services tell us something about the product or a quality of product. For example, if product is expensive, we consider that yes, this product is quality, or cheaper, we consider that not, this is a less quality product. The next one is food packaging. In fact, food packaging also informs us about something. For example, there are some signs on the food packaging, such as them, and they are informing about us something, yes. This is other communication tools which inform us about products. The next one, in this sheet, I want to explain you goals and tasks of promotion. There are 4 goals of promotion, one of them informing, second one reminding, connection, and the pursuing. Of course, every marketer or every owner of a company want to inform their customer about their product. They want to reminding, they want to make some connection, and the next one, they want to pursue their clients and they pursue their customers about the buying product. It was goals and tasks of promotion. And I would like to explain characteristics of the elements in the promotional mix. And in this sheet, you can see, in this side, you can see some characteristic features, and in this side, you can see type of marketing communication. Okay, let's dive into deep about it. In advertising, in model of communication. In advertising, this is indirect and impersonal. But in public relationship, usually indirect and impersonal. And in sales promotion, model of communication also sometimes can be usually indirect and impersonal too. In personal selling, indirect and of course face-to-face. Social media, indirect but instance. Okay, communicator control over situation. How communicator control over the situation? In advertising, of course, low. In public relationship, moderate to low. In sales promotion, moderate to low too. In personal selling, of course, high. The social media is moderate too. And the next characteristic is amount of feedback. In advertising, amount of feedback, of course, is little. In public relations, PR, little. In sales promotion, little to moderate. In personal selling, much. In social media, much too. Because in personal, as I mentioned before, personal selling and social media are more important types of marketing communication. The next is speed of feedback. In advertising is delayed. In public relations, delayed too, but sales promotion sometimes varies. In personal sellings, immediate. In social media, immediate too. And direction of message. In advertising, one way. Of course, we can deliver information only with one way. In public relations, with one way too. Sales promotion, mostly one-way, personal selling two-way, in social media two-way, and others. Okay, the control over message content. In advertising, of course, we can control, that's why yes. Public relation, no control. Sales promotion, yes. Personal selling, yes too. In social media, varies, generally no. In identification of sponsor. In advertising, yes, we can identify sponsor. In public relation, no. In sales promotion, yes too. Personal selling, yes. In social media, yes too. The nextly is I want to explain about speed in reaching large audience. Advertising, fast. In public relationship, usually fast. Sales promotion, fast too. In personal selling, slow. Social media, fast too. Message flexibility. Message flexibility is the most important point of characteristic because you must measure your message flexibility and you can determine how your communication works. That's why in advertising, some message to all audience. In public relations, usually no direct control over the message audience. In sales promotion, some message to varied targets. And personal selling is prospective, tailored to prospective buyer. In social media, some of the most targeted opportunities. It was a characteristic of elements in the promotional mix. This is very important to know it because with helping this sheet, you can measure the type of advertising and factors which affect the type of advertising. So nextly, I would like to explain about AIDA concept. It calls in English AIDA, but in a short we call it AIDA concept. AIDA means that firstly attention and secondly interest, desire and action. According to scientists, according to marketers, if you want to create your marketing strategy successfully, you should do right your AIDA concept. Okay, let's compare with types of marketing and AIDA concept. Okay, firstly advertising. The red sign means that very effective and colorless means that somewhat effective and the black color means that not effective. Okay, let's compare attention, interest, desire and action. It means that AIDA. Let's measure the factor of AIDA, two types of advertising, two types of communication, I'm sorry. Firstly, advertising. Attention in advertising is very effective, of course. Interest is very effective too, but desire somewhat effective. Action, unfortunately, not effective because advertising doesn't work. And the next type of communication is public relation. Attention in public relation, of course, is very effective. Interest is very effective too. Desire, somewhat effective. Action is not effective too. But in sales promotion, attention, somewhat effective. Interest, somewhat effective. Desire, very effective. Action, somewhat effective too. In a personal selling, attention is somewhat effective. But interest is very effective. Desire, very effective too. Action, very effective too. Because why very effective? Because we say pursue buyer face to face is easier than other situations. The next type is social media. In social media, attention is very effective because you can attract people easily with social media. The next one, interest, is very effective too. Desire, somewhat effective. Action, somewhat effective too. It was the promotional mix and AIDA concept. And we talk I told about marketing communication, but what else can influence the marketing mix? Firstly, type of product. The type of product can be, firstly, B2B model, B2C model, C2C model, or C2B model. It means that B2B, business to business. B2C means that business to consumer, consumer to consumer, consumer to business. Of course, type of product affect to, how can I say, communication, of course. It doesn't matter, service or product. The next influence of marketing mix is stage of product life cycle. You know about product life cycle because I explained about it in our second lecture. There are two types of product life cycle, four types of product life cycle. One of them introduction, second one growth, maturity, and decline. In the introduction level, you should choose almost every type of advertising because you newly enter the market and you want to advertise, you want to informate about your product. And the second stage is growth. In a growth level, sometimes you can use the advertising or PR and promotion, the other type of promotion. The next level is maturity. In a maturity level, it doesn't matter. You can choose every type of advertising. It doesn't matter, such as personal selling or advertising or PR, it doesn't matter. But in a decline, you must choose some appropriate, how can I say, advertising for decline level. For example, some PR or just advertising and so on. This is a product life cycle, and the product life cycle can affect the marketing communication stage of product life cycle, affect to marketing communications. And the next promotion strategy, of course, can affect to marketing communication mix, or competitors, of course, it's clear that, or financial resources. You know about financial resources because without financial resources, we cannot make some communication, we cannot make some contact between marketer or consumers. And in this sheet, I would like to explain principle of effective marketing communication. There are some questions and some answers you should do. Firstly, who? You must answer to a question of who. It means that identifying the target audience. The second question is where. It means that choice of communication channel. Which channel is appropriate? Which channel is useful for your company? The next one is what. What it means that message. Which message would you like to deliver to your customer? The next one, how much. How much it means that the budget. As I mentioned before, budget is the most important point of communication because if you cannot control your budget or you cannot manage your budget, you cannot spend extra money to your communication. The next one is form, channel, period of time. It means that communication program design. The next one is what was it. I mean that monitoring and evolution. The next stage is monitoring because without monitoring, you cannot measure effectiveness of marketing communication. Okay, what else is important in marketing communication? Firstly, segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Let me explain deeply about these elements. Firstly, as I mentioned before, segmentation. Segmentation is dividing people into small groups for their similar needs, for their behavioral patterns, or for their age, and so on. And that's why with helping segmentation, you can achieve your target audience and you can prepare the appropriate communication tools or appropriate communication, marketing communication for your segments. The next one is targeting. The targeting is selecting the target audience, for example, for whom your product or for whom your service or age group or their likes and dislikes, gender and so on. This is the targeting, and with helping targeting, you can better do your communication better. And finally, I want to explain about communication theory. The communication theory is very important in communication because it's a line of communication, how you can send information and how the receiver accepts this information. Okay, this is a line. Firstly, everything starts from sender. If you don't have a sender, you cannot, how can I say, deliver information you can receive your receiver. Firstly, sender. As a sender can be some marketing agencies or some companies, enterprises, it doesn't matter. Who just want to send information to receiver. Firstly, sender. Sender want to, how can I say, to deliver message to their receiver, and that's why the sender prepares some message for their receiver. And after that, the sender choose channel, the appropriate channel for their product, for him or her product. Yes, channel. As a channel can be some types of communication, such as advertising or personal selling, direct marketing, and so on. And the next level is channel, and after channel, they want to prepare some message. This message is encoding process, but this message is decoding process, because the people, your customer, decodes this message. You must understand your message which we would like to send them. After message is receiver, and the message go to the receiver, and the receiver accepts the message. Okay. The main aim is sender to, as I mentioned before, send information to receiver, and the main aim to get feedback from receiver, to get some response from receiver. This is the line of communication, and we call it communication theory. It was about communication theory, and this is the end of our lecture. But the end of our lecture, I would like to give you some questions, for my students, because this question will help you to understand our lecture deeply. And you can discuss these questions with your group mates, and you can understand our lecture, as I mentioned before, deeply. Okay, firstly, you should discuss about what is marketing environment and importance of marketing environment. Secondly, what is internal environment, what is external environment. Then, can we control micro environment, or can we control macro environment? The nextly, what is communication, how many types of communication, and what is communication theory. These questions will help you to make some discussing between your group mates. This is discussing questions. Thank you for your attention. Take care of yourself. See you